hello, welcome wherever you are joining us around the world. Welcome to Riyadh, welcome to Boulevard City, and welcome to the greatest show on earth. Well, hello, welcome wherever you are joining us around the world. Welcome to Riyadh, welcome to Boulevard City, and welcome to the greatest show on earth. The Battle of the Baddest is finally here. The king of heavyweight boxing, the lineal and WBC World Heavyweight Champion, Tyson Fury, takes on the king of heavyweight MMA, the lineal MMA Heavyweight Champion, the man they call the Predator, Francis Ngannou. It's finally here. Today is all about grand arrivals, and on Saturday night, we will be asking the world a question. Who is the baddest man on the planet? My goodness, what a promo. Have you ever seen a promo like that before? I certainly haven't. And I'll tell you, we're going to have a little walk around here as well. We're in Boulevard City here in Riyadh. It is like something you have never seen before. And I've got Andy Clark here with me. He's on the ground. He couldn't help. He was only here a second ago. He couldn't help but walk around. Andy, what are you up to?
In Times Square, Dev. That's what this place is, a recreation of the famous New York landmark. I've been to Times Square in New York. I'm sure many people watching this have been as well, and it is terrific. But if you just take a look around this place, I think you would probably have to say that it is an upgrade. The scale of it, the level of this, the level of all the promotion that we're going to see during the course of this week is epic, to be quite honest with you. So make sure you stick with us, because day by day, bit by bit, everything will get ramped up. You'll see something new every single day, I promise you, culminating on Saturday night in a spectacle, the like of which I don't think any of us will have seen before. So welcome to Fight Week. Let the games begin.
I'll tell you what, I have known that man, Andy Clark, for several years now. I have never seen him look as excited as what he did just there. Look at his eyes lighting up with everything that's going on. We're in Boulevard City here in Riyadh. Today is all about the grand arrival. Saturday night, we are asking the world who is the baddest man on the planet, and today, hey, we're going to get a glimpse at him. Tyson Fury will be taken to the red carpet. Francis Ngannou will be taken to the red carpet. Fabio Wardley, David Adeleye, every fighter involved on Saturday night will be there. And Andy Clark, thank you for joining me again. I was wondering if you'd actually come back or not.
I'll tell you what, you look around this place, honestly, you look around the surrounds, and it's incredible. It really is incredible. I took a walk down there earlier on. You know, you've got the Eiffel Tower, the Houses of Parliament, the Trocadero. You've got everything really that you could that you could need. It's a great way to start.
It's a great way to start. And the way we're going to start now is actually with our MC, Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the grand arrivals as we get set for a great night of championship boxing this Saturday in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to extend a big thank you to His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, you by Sella, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, and Gimmick. This great event will be televised live in the UK on TNT Sports Box Office, in the United States on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, and around the world in other territories on DAZN. Well, at this time, we are going to first welcome from London, England. He will be defending his WBO European Championship this Saturday night. He brings an undefeated record with 12 wins. 11 of his 12 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Adeleye.
WBO European Heavyweight Champion in the fight of his life, Andy Clark. The British title's on the line against Fabio Wardley. Big step up.
Huge. I remember he was here in February for the Jake Paul-Tommy Fury fight, and so he's been out here and had a kind of a flavour of the whole thing. So I wonder if that's proved useful to him in the build-up. I'd imagine, that it would have done. And just to give you an idea of how kind of unusual this is and how big this is a fight for the British title, which in itself is massive, but there were jurisdiction issues because the Border Control have never had to do this before. They've never had to sanction a fight for the Lonsdale belt outside of Britain before.
It's historic. It
is.
Everywhere you look, there is history being made, and we're looking at Big D, David Adeleye. He's 12-0. He's had 11 knockouts so far. He's looking fantastic, getting his photos done over there, and he'll be taking on Fabio Wardley. I'd imagine Wardley won't be coming anytime soon, but Big D, David Adeleye, will join us. How are you, sir? Look at you, checking yourself out.
I am. I have to, right?
How you feeling? This is big time.
Yeah, you know what? It's something different. I just said it to my coaches. It's all different, I'm soaking up and I like it. I'm getting used to it.
Feels like you were made for this stage.
I think I was too. When it come out, I come out my shell.
Do you feel like it helped you coming out here in February? Because I remember seeing you here for the Jake Paul-Tommy Fury fight. You were out most of the week. You're around all of the stuff and that kind of acclimatisation, if you like. You didn't know this was going to happen at that point, but it was that investment that you made to come out was, it turned out to be well worth it.
Yeah, it's paid off because when I got told the fight was being announced in Saudi, I kind of had an understanding of what Saudi was like. So when I came out here, nothing was really new to me. Like you said, I was there 5 weeks beforehand. I was watching everyone else kind of get ready for the fights. I was watching the build-up, and now it's my turn.
It feels like he's been quite dismissive of you. That's just the vibe that I'm getting. He's the guy that's been to, a bigger stage. He's been in better fights on paper, harder fights. It feels to me like he's dismissing you. Are you getting that feeling from him?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter though, does it? He's still going to have to fight me on Fight Night, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He says he's been there, he's done that, but on Fight Night it's a different story. And when you're trading level, it's a different story as well. Something I'm used to doing, so we'll just have to see.
You've been calling for this for a while. I know you were irritated when you felt like you were kind of jumped in the queue by Fraser Clark, a fight that ended up not happening, of course, as we know. What is it about Fabio that you feel that you can exploit? Why do you feel that you've got his number? I'm not asking for tactics because you can't tell me that, but when you look into somebody's eyes as a fighter, a lot of the time, particularly you big fellas, sometimes you feel like you see something.
Yeah, stylistically it works. It was nothing personal towards him. He had the belt, and as time went on, it started to get a bit more needle in it. But I just know I got his number. I believe in myself. I know what I do behind closed doors. I know what I can do on the big stage, and I know the sort of power these hands possess. So it's only a matter of time when you're hitting somebody with them, they're gonna go over.
Listen, so far, you've had a press conference, which was last week. You've had a face-off with Carl Frampton. What's the score heading into the press conference later this week?
I don't know. Is that 3-0 to me?
Well, hey, where's the third come from?
No, because red carpet, press conference, face-off. I'm winning all of them. But at the end of the day, that's not what matters for me. What matters for me is on Fight Night. Going out there and delivering the goods. And that's all that's on my mind. The other things ain't really on my mind. I'm just a good talker. And I look good on the cameras too.
We see it. Look, massive show, massive occasion to be a part of as well. What does it feel like to be part of a Tyson Fury undercard in the Battle of the Baddest? So many eyeballs will be on David Adeleye on Saturday night.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this fight. But this is what you kind of join the game for when you're a kid. these are dreams to reality. I'm kind of living a dream right now. That's why I take it all in my stride. You know, a lot of people kind of shy away in these moments, but I don't really do that. You know, it's a good thing, not a bad thing. So I just take it in my stride. You know, I enjoy the show. Yeah, I'm loving it right now. It's just, you got to have fun because, you know, these moments ain't going to last forever. And at the end of the day, it's all going to be a memory. So,
when does the switch flick with you, though? Because it's good to hear you say that you live in the moment and you enjoy these experiences, because that's what a career is all about. You've got an end goal in mind, but how you get there, you know, you don't have as much control over that probably as you would like. At what stage during the week, though, do you switch into fight mode and block all of that out and just tunnel vision on the one thing?
The switch is always ready.
We've seen that.
We've seen that. The switch is always ready. But, you know, and once fight night comes, it's fight night. It's a different ball game. I'm not here. I don't want nobody really talking to me, having normal conversations with me. You know, I'm on a different sort of trajectory. You know, I focus on different things. So I say it really kicks in on fight night. But, you know, as a fighter man, I'm always ready to, you know, to flick the switch whenever. You know, I'm a funny guy, and then just before sparring, I flick the switch. So it's always changing.
Well, keep your finger off it until fight night.
Well, look, we can't wait for that flick to switch. Give me a final thing just before we let you go. Right now, look, we're on the Tuesday. What's going to happen on Saturday?
Wardley's getting knocked out. Adeleye win. KO. No judges needed. 110%. You know, I think it's going to be a blockbuster fight. The way we prepared is going to be a blockbuster fight. So we'll just see what Wardley comes out. We're ready for anything. Like, literally, anything.
All right, thank you so much, David Adeleye. We'll take that mic
Pleasure.
from you. That's Big D. That's the
Good to see you.
unbeaten heavyweight sensation, David Adeleye. Look, we're going to go to Thomas Triber shortly. I just want to have a chat with you about Adelaye's demeanour. This is the biggest stage of his life so far. He seems cool, calm, collected, right?
He does, and the same will be true of Fabio when we speak to him later on. And that's what interests me about these two particularly, because you've got a pair of fighters here who, relatively inexperienced though they might be, and Fabio, of course, had practically no amateur background. He had 4 unlicensed fights basically before turning pro. They just look like they belong on a big stage. They have that kind of mentality, and that's key, because you can freeze during fight week, you can get overawed, you can lose the fight during fight week. I've seen it when you've seen one fighter who's not been on such a big stage before step up and face one who has been, or at least on something comparable. And as you alluded to yourself, when you look at their careers, Wardley has been on that higher level than David, but you could see that he's been thirsting to get here, and he's not going to waste this opportunity. You can never guarantee anything as an athlete, particularly the higher you go. All you can really do is prepare as best you can, do the best you can on the night, and then, in a sense, whatever happens, happens, particularly at heavyweight. But what I don't think we will see from him on Saturday, from either of them, is any kind of performance that they will have any cause to regret, because that's the last thing you want if you're either of those two. This kind of opportunity, you need to make sure you perform to your max, and hopefully for you that will be enough.
Well, look, the winner of that fight walks away with 4 belts, the coveted Lord Lonsdale belt, the British heavyweight title, which so many fighters love. He'll walk away with that, the winner of this fight. But let's quit that chat for now. We're going to go back to our MC, Thomas Triber.
And now we welcome, fighting out of Miami, Florida, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 12 wins, 3 defeats. 9 of his 12 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Roberto Duran Jr.
Well, here comes Roberto Duran Jr. He's the son of the great, one of the greatest fighters of all time in Roberto Duran. He takes on Jack McGann on Saturday night. A fitting stage for a fitting name, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he was one of my favourites as a kid, Duran, and when I look back through boxing history, he probably is my number one, to be honest, just because of the kind of character he was, the kind of fights that he was in, the kind of energy that he brought to the sport, the longevity that he had, everything. And, you know, he picked up his defeats as well. You know, he got absolutely iced by Tommy Hearns and managed to come back from that. And he just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. And in the end, you know, it was a sad, sad day when he finally called it a day. It's not easy for fighters when they've got a father with a massive surname.
And we've seen this a lot now.
Yeah, particularly over the last few years, we've seen it a lot.
Well, let's have a quick chat with the man himself, Robert Duran Jr. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Tell us about this fight on Saturday night. Firstly, what a huge stage for your fight with Jack McGann.
Yes,
give
sir.
us your thoughts about it.
First of all, I want to say thank you for Saudi Arabia people having me here, for the whole Queensberry Promotions to having me here. It's just a big blessing. I'm grateful to be here and to be fighting on this undercard. The Tyson Fury undercard is just amazing. I'm really cut off for words. It's a really spectacular moment right now.
Well, Andy Clark was saying your father, the great Roberto Duran, probably his greatest favourite fighter of all time, Andy.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's not easy carrying that surname, is it? We see it in England recently in the last few years at Eubank, at a Ben, a Hatton,
Right.
and there's always a big spotlight. I'm curious, how did this fight come about? When did you get the call to be part of this card?
I would say I got the call about 2 months ago, a little over 2 months ago.
Were you surprised?
I was, because after I saw the magnitude of this fight, it's really like, oh my God, it's on a really big stage, that I'm participating on, and it's a blessing, and I'm glad to be here, And also the Warrens, they used to manage me before as well, so this opportunity came to my door just at the right time.
And what do you think of Jack McGann then? He's unbeaten as a boxer. He's got a good history in MMA. He's a big hitter.
Okay.
What do you make of him? You must have done your studying your tape.
I don't make too much of it. I'm a fighter. I'm a professional boxer my whole life. You know what I mean? He's coming from MMA to boxing. You know what I mean? So I'm well prepared to fight. I hope he is too. And then we're gonna give Saturday everybody a really good show on Saturday night.
And for fans who haven't yet seen you box, what can they expect from Robert Duran Jr.?
Just a talented fighter, man. I was blessed with skills. I'm going to showcase my skills on Saturday night. That's really all I can say.
We cannot wait for it. Thank you so much
Thank you for having
joining
me.
us. I'll grab that mic from you. Robert Duran Jr. in action on Saturday night. Let's go back to Thomas Triber.
And now let's welcome, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 40 wins, 7 defeats, 1 draw, 28 wins, coming by way of knockout. Here is Carlos Takam.
Carlos Takam, one of the, this is a guy who has boxed pretty much everyone, Andy. It's a who's who of people that he has boxed. Anthony Joshua, Joe Joyce. He's beat Tony Yoka in his last fight. He's boxed everyone, Andy.
Yeah, he has, and he's still supremely fit at over 40 years of age, and he still really wants it. We could see that in the fight against Yoka. I covered that fight, and he came into the back of it, off the back of a defeat against Joe Joyce, then a defeat against Arslanbek Makhmudov, who we'll see later on, but did pretty well in that fight. He went the 10 rounds, and he had his moments. And then against Yoka in Paris, a fight that people have been calling for quite a while. It had been made a couple of times and then fallen out a couple of times, and he went after it and after it. He beat Yoka up, to be perfectly honest with you, and he was extremely confident that that was what he would be able to do. And what it does is it gets him back in the mix, and he's been in that mix for what seems like forever now. But he's just a great example of someone who, if you stay in the gym, if you keep working, if you live the life, then the minute these days, age is a number.
Yeah, no, and as you can see, he's in tremendous shape. He is Carlos Takam. He is always in tremendous shape. He is loving the red carpet. He is loving being under those lights, and he'll be back under those lights on Saturday. Mr. Carlos Takam, please join us. How are you, sir?
I'm good, guy. I'm good. And you?
I'm good. Great to see you.
Great
Big
to see
fight
you
for you on Saturday night. Martin Bakole. This is a big, strong guy. Tell me how you're feeling about this fight.
I'm really so excited about that fight, and then I'm feeling good. I'm making good preparation for that fight. So right now, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to be in the ring with Martin Bakole. Right.
Tell us about this. This is incredible. You look like you were really enjoying that there. The flashes, look all around. It's amazing to be here, right?
Yeah. It's really nice to be here. It's a big event. Everybody was waiting for that since 1 year, I think. And right now we're here in Saudi for that big event. So I think for this year is a big event here, And then I really think I want to say something. I think Francis is going to win.
Oh, he said it. He said it. Well, look, Francis Ngannou is your friend. I've heard you say this. You've said before that you believe he's going to win.
Yeah, I believe
and then the rematch in the cage. Is that right? Is that what you've been saying?
Yes, of course. I really want him to win, and he's going to win. And then we're going to bring again the rematch here. That's cool, right?
Hey, well, look, let's bring in Andy Clark here. Andy Clark has been following your whole career. You are one of the legendary modern-day heavyweights.
Legendary. Oh.
Andy, talk to us.
Okay.
Well, I commentated on your fight against Tony Yoka, and I saw your fight against Joe Joyce. I've seen a good few of them down the years, but what I love, Carlos, is the fact that you've stayed in shape your whole career. You've lived the boxing life, and you're still full of ambition, because you're in the away corner against Joyce, but you took it because you thought you could win. Against Makhmudov, you took the fight because you thought you could win, and then the same thing against Yoka, and you got the win. And now, you're back in the top 10, back in the top 15.
Yeah, back in the game. I know I'm going to win that fight because I really worked so hard for that fight, and then my preparation was so hard. So I believe in me. I know it's not going to be easy. I know that guy is a big fighter. He's a strong guy, but I know he's from Africa like me. We know. And then I'm confident for that fight. I really know I'm gonna win that fight. That fight I'm gonna end the fight. It's not gonna go in 10 rounds.
What do you think of Martin Bakole as a fighter?
I think he's a young fighter, strong fighter. He's a good guy. And then yes, but I have more experience, and I know what I'm gonna do Saturday. I know.
So your prediction is a Takam win and an Ngannou win. Is that the double?
Yes, exactly. double.
Double.
That's my prediction. Takam win and Ngannou win.
Carlos, wonderful to see you. We'll see you again during fight week. Good luck to you, my friend. I'll grab the mic from you and fist bump you. Thank you. I'll grab that. Thank you. Carlos Takam almost left Andy Clark hanging there. He didn't. You got your handshake in the end there.
I was panicking there for a second, Dev. It was on camera. It was very obviously on camera as well. I know.
Listen, big fight for Carlos Takam. This Martin Bakole fight is one, for me, it's really caught the public's attention.
Yeah, it's a good fight because Bakole has got some real ability. Mm-hmm. He always has had. He had that setback losing to Michael Hunter in a fight where a lot of questions were asked about him after that fight, but the way he responded was impressive because he went straight into a fight in Poland against Mariusz Fak. Fak at that point wasn't in the away corner like he is now. He had big ambitions, so that was a bold move. But that's how much confidence they had in themselves that the defeat against Hunter was a blip. Mm-hmm. They got the win, and he's moved on since then. And now he's just knocking on the door, waiting for an opportunity. And he's got good rankings too. So there's plenty on the line for both of them. And if Carlos can win, he can take those rankings. And it's. Yeah, I like this fight. I liked it as soon as it was made.
Well, Takam feels like one of those guys that maybe heavyweights on the way up are having a look at him and saying, okay, maybe he's a bit of a gatekeeper, but sometimes they get it wrong. Tony Yoka, Takam was his comeback fight after the first loss of his career. He thought, okay, I'll fight Takam. People know who he is in Paris. I'll come through and I'll keep going. But he got it wrong, and Carlos Takam keeps proving people wrong.
Yeah, he does, and it is a dangerous game to play because you have to be very, very confident in your fighter if you're going to put them in against someone like Takam. Or, as you say, you've assessed the situation incorrectly, looked at him and just thought, okay, went to London and fought Joe Joyce. Did well for a few rounds, but then got stopped. Went to Canada, fought Makhmudov. Okay, did all right, but he lost on points. All right, that's where he is now. He's taking away corner jobs. He hasn't really got any ambition left. It'd be easy to think that, but it was wrong. Mm-hmm. Because he was just waiting for that opportunity. He always fancied it against Tony Yoka. I always fancied him against Tony Yoka, to be honest with you. And you look at the shape he's in, and he is, as I say, he's a good lesson to all pros out there because he lives the life of a professional fighter, and he always has done.
He absolutely always has done. And just a reminder, this Saturday night, in the UK, TNT Sports box office. In the US, via Top Rank on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, and around the world in other territories on DAZN. Make sure you don't miss this fight, this event. There's so much. We've just had a chat to Carlos Takam, who's taking on Martin Bakole. We've spoken to David Adeleye. Very soon we'll be speaking to Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. But first, let's go back to Thomas Treiber.
Let's now welcome, coming to us from Liverpool, England. He brings an undefeated record with 8 wins, 1 draw. 5 of his 8 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Jack the Pilgrim McGann.
So far, just 8 wins, 1 draw on his record. And the main thing here is that this man has switched over from MMA to boxing. He was tremendous in the MMA world. There was a point where he had 10 first-round knockouts in a row, and he wants to be proof in the pudding that you can translate MMA striking to heavyweight, well, to boxing.
Yeah, you can. You see plenty of fighters make the switch over from kickboxing as well, and generally they tend to stand up quite straight and punch hard. It can leave them a little bit vulnerable at times if they're a bit too upright, so we'll see what he's like stylistically, but he's very experienced in combat sports, and that does make a big difference. There's a huge difference between boxing and MMA, clearly, but in terms of the mentality and the mindset and being able to take yourself mentally to that place you need to take yourself to be able to get in there with somebody else.
Well, let's bring
and
in
put
the
it
Pilgrim.
all on the line. You know, that's absolutely critical.
Absolutely. The Pilgrim, Jack McGann. How are you, sir?
Very good, thanks.
Yeah, great to see you. Tell us about this. It looks like you're really taking that in there. You're taking in the lights. Big occasion, big stage for you.
Yeah, it's massive. I've said from the start, there's been an ongoing theme of we're doing it different, and you've never seen nothing like this. But I've heard that plenty of times, and you get there and it is. But this is really, I got the impression early on to just have a really open mind to it and just get ready for whatever crazy stuff they come up with. And when I was driving up to the to this, then all the light, you can see the lights from miles away. I've never seen production like this, and it's different.
Me and Andy were talking about your MMA background. Hey, you could really hit in the MMA world. It looks like you can whack in the boxing world, so that the power does translate, huh?
Yeah, I thought that maybe the change of gloves, them few couple of ounces would have made a difference, but I've been doing okay so far. So,
just give us an idea of how this came about for you, because what I like about these occasions is sometimes you talk to fighters and you say, okay, where were you when you got the call? You know, where were you when the phone went and you knew you were going to get this opportunity?
It was sort of it was an ongoing thing with talking back and forth a lot with my manager Alfie Warren and Spencer Brown, which is a massive part of why I'm on here. But the original thing to get me foot in the door was, you've got an MMA fighter who people say can't box, and I'm sitting here, I'm mandatory for the British. I've got a title, I'm doing well, and I can box, so I can do it. So it translates over. Do you know what I mean? But no, I'm truly grateful, and I understand how lucky I am to be on this card, and I can't wait to put on a performance.
And you mentioned that the fact that you're in line to box for that British title. So what better way than to fight over here in front of a lot of people, put on a good performance, get a good win, and then that fight with Sam Antwi will get made sooner rather than later.
Yeah, exactly. This is the chance I've been desperate for. My last 4 fights have been, if you look at the fights, they've been as exciting as you can get, and they were made for TV on a big stage. So I've been asking for this, and this is my chance now, and I'm looking to kick the door off and make a statement.
Well, because of your background, Jack, because what you're doing currently in boxing, we've got to get your thoughts on the main event. Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. Can Francis Ngannou win? Tell us.
Of course. For one, it's heavyweight boxing. So they can all punch, anything can happen. And I think a lot of people are overlooking the fact that, Ngannou's never boxed, but he's known that he's going to have a boxing match for, I imagine, a long time now, putting his mind to it. And even though it's not boxing, he's been competing at the highest level in MMA, competition-wise, and he is a monster. So, and I've been saying, with the Usyk deal signed with Fury, and everything's lined up and it's finally all perfect and falling into place, if there was ever a time where everything could go wrong, it could, I don't mean to jinx it, but it could be this. But I think Fury knows that, and that's why he's taken Ngannou fully as serious as he can anyone else.
All right, perfect. Jack McGann, we cannot wait for this one. Big fight for you. Congratulations on getting on this stage. We'll see you in the week.
Thanks, lads. Nice one.
We'll grab that. And just a reminder, I mean, you're looking around here. We are in Boulevard City here in Riyadh, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Have a look at that. Absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this before. Andy, listen, you've been covering boxing a long time. This is quite special, Andy.
It is. I mean, you just look at those screens, and when you arrive in the city as well, you just see billboards for this everywhere. I was talking to Ziad Al Mayouf, a young Saudi fighter, before we came on air, and he's over in Egypt. He lives in Egypt, and there's billboards for it over there. Oh. Yeah, the promotion of this has been another level.
Absolutely unbelievable promotion. Let's go back to our MC, Thomas Treiber.
Let's now welcome, coming to us from Kildare, Scotland. He brings a professional record consisting of 19 wins, just one defeat. 14 of his 19 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Martin Bakole.
Here comes Martin Bakole, the Congolese heavyweight giant. Many people are seeing him as a bit of a sleeping giant in the heavyweight division, Andy.
Yeah, because at the minute, he's in that position, unfortunately for him, where he's kind of high risk, low reward. If you're above him in the rankings and he's got something you want, there's no real reason why you would want to fight him. Yeah. So Takam is the kind of guy who's game enough, who will get in the ring with him, because Bakole, with his good rankings, has got something that Carlos needs and wants. So it's a good matchup for that reason. He's a skillful fighter. Billy Nelson, his trainer, they're constantly banging the drum for him, and he's got a really interesting backstory. He's the brother of Ilunga Makabu.
Yes.
And he is a Congolese prince.
He left
Congo to pursue a boxing career in South Africa firstly, went there, followed his brother there, then has ended up in a small Scottish village, population of 500, and I can confirm he is the only Congolese prince in the village.
Wow. Well, great bit of trivia there from Andy Clark. That is why we brought you in, Andy. Here is Martin Bakole. Let's have a chat with the giant himself ahead of the biggest fight of his life. Martin Bakole, great to see you. How are you? I'm good. Tell us how it feels to be here. This is a magnificent stage. I can see you enjoyed it up there as well. Must feel good, huh?
I look like I'm in a paradise. So it's the first time to be in Saudi, but I'm surprised by a lot.
Well, welcome to paradise. We were just talking, myself and Andy Clark, about how you are maybe one of those high-risk, low-reward kind of fighters, but I guess you can make a real name for yourself on this stage on Saturday.
Of course, yeah. This is my show for me. This is not Tyson Fury Ngannou, but this is me. I'm fighting a guy who's got more experience and has got, he's got a lot. So I'm going to learn a lot in a Saturday night, but I promise you I'll stop him or maybe win on a point. Martin Bakole is going to win the fight.
Big night for Martin Bakole, Andy.
Yeah, very, very, Martin. We were saying, as Dev said, high risk, low reward. You're on a great run. People above you, they're not really going to want to fight you. That's just the way boxing goes, isn't it? So Carlos Takam, actually, off the back of his win against Yoka, who you also beat, it's as good a fight as you could possibly get.
Yeah. Maybe want to revenge the Yoka fight because they're both French, but it's a big mistake he made, because it's for reason everyone is avoiding me, but he's a man. He said yes to fight me, so why not? Because everyone is avoiding me, he said yes. I just jump on a chance and keep forward.
I've heard you say, Martin, I was watching one of your interviews, you said that you believe that Carlos Takam will retire after this fight. You really think that?
Of course, 100%, because he will get many punches that he never get. That is a show, and watch Martin Bakole against Tony Yoka, and watch Takam. It's too slow. He's got experience, yes, it's tough, but I'll punish him with many punches.
Why is this guy so avoided, Andy? I mean, look, he speaks well. He's an absolute monster. I guess he's a bit scary.
Yeah, it's the all-round skill set, to be honest with you. I've watched a lot of his fights, and what's really impressive about him is that for a big man, for a heavyweight, he's got fast hands. He varies the angle of attack. He varies up the weight of his punch. I remember seeing him stop Kevin Johnson, who at that point people weren't really stopping him, and the reason he did it was volume. He'd switch the angle, switch the mode of attack. It's that kind of heat that he brings, which is unusual for somebody of his size. If I looked at the stats, I'm sure it would show that he throws more punches per round than most other heavyweights out there. He's a real handful for anybody, and that's why, unless he's got something you want, and he has with Carlos Takam, then he's going to have to force his way into mandatory position, I'd imagine.
Okay, Martin, we're going to get a final word from you. Just tell us, very briefly, in a few words, what's going to happen on Saturday?
Oh, knockout, big knockout. Takam is in trouble. I have much respect. I respect him. He's a big brother to me. And this is for Africa. He's from Africa as well, and I'm from Africa. So one must sleep, but it's him. He's going to sleep Saturday night.
Well, there you have it. Go back to MC Thomas Treiber.
Let's now welcome from Chatham, Kent, England. He had a stellar amateur career, and now as a professional is undefeated with 5 wins. 3 of his 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Moses Itauma.
18-year-old who is lighting up the heavyweight scene right now. He's got the whole world in his hands. World amateur champion, unbeaten as an amateur and as a professional, Andy.
Yeah, he's made a good start. You know, we've been aware of him for a while. If you follow amateur boxing, he went to the Europeans and won gold, European youths, and stopped everybody in the first round. Went to the World Championships, the youths in Alicante last year, and same thing. I think one opponent managed to go the 3 rounds with him. Everybody else didn't hear the final bell, and everyone was after him, signature-wise. Absolutely everyone. But Queensbury have been on his trail for a bit longer than others.
Yeah.
You know, they do a very, very good job of looking closely at the amateurs that are coming through. Not just at senior level, not just waiting for the Olympics and see who wins medals. It's something that Frank's always, you know, put a lot of time and energy into. Top rank as well. They're both well known for it, and it's, you know, it reaps dividends. And he's a great example because, like I say, everybody wanted him. And when you watch him fight, he's been in with some tough guys already. 3 knockouts in 5, which is great because it means he's been taking a few rounds, and they've matched him tough. You know, they've matched him with some serious operators.
Here is the man himself.
And look, the last time I saw you, when you brought that guy onto that lovely long left uppercut, that was
not too bad, wasn't it?
That was terrific. That was absolutely terrific.
So I need more performances like that. Like obviously, like I'm on a big platform and showcase good time to showcase my skills.
How does it feel to be here? You've been in Riyadh for a few days now. Look at this event. Look at all these lights. Look at all these cameras. Look at how many people are here. How's it feel?
No, I'm surprised, man. Listen, it feels good, but listen, whether I'm boxing at the York or Wembley Arena or Riyadh, it's at the end of the day you go in there and do the same job. You go in there, square circle, and you fight. So listen, it's a good opportunity for to showcase my skills, but that's what I got to do. I got to showcase my skills. Let nothing outside the ring.
We've seen a little bit of everything from you, I think, so far, in terms of what you can show us. You've had people out there within a minute. You've had people out there within sort of 90 seconds. You've gone the distance a couple of times as well. We've seen your boxing skills. What are we going to see on Saturday?
Fireworks. Fireworks. I always say it, fireworks, man.
You like the sound of that, Andy?
Well, I mean, we've seen plenty of them so far, and it's been good to see you taking a few rounds after those first 2 fights. But what really interests me about Saturday as well is that we've got this British title fight on the same card. I mean, do you feel that you would be ready for the winner of that already?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was thinking this yesterday. I was in the shower. I believe that I can probably beat both of them. But listen, my time will come. I respect David and I respect Fabio. Obviously, they're going to put on, or hopefully they put on a good performance this Saturday night. But like I said, I believe I can beat them, and my time will come. My time will come.
Mike Tyson's going to be there at the weekend.
Yeah, that's mad.
Still after his record?
Of course, 100%. Listen, hopefully, after this fight, I can get more credit for my boxing because I don't believe, like, obviously I got a little bit of credit, but I don't believe I was able to showcase everything I can showcase. So I believe this fight I would be able to because I got an actual opponent that's trying to gun for my head. So
if you see him, are you going to tell Mike Tyson that you're after his record?
Listen, I was saying this. If he doesn't know that, I'm not doing my job properly. He's got to know that.
Well, look, the fans have got the chance to really find out more about Moses Itauma on Saturday
100%.
night. You want fireworks. Are you really after that explosive knockout and sort of beat your chest and say, I'm Moses Itauma?
Of course. I'll look for that every fight. If there's not one fight that I haven't looked for that. Listen, whether it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. As long as I'm putting a good performance on.
And what are your thoughts on the main event? Because, you know, we're all boxing guys, us three, and we probably struggle to see how Ngannou is going to be able to land that massive right on Tyson Fury because, you know, hitting it, having a big punch is one thing, landing it against someone like him is another.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Like, anyone that's done boxing themselves and they come against, like, you can have had 1,000 fights, but if you come against someone that's game, doesn't matter what you do, it's like, it's a struggle. So whether you don't know whether the shots are coming from left, right, centre, listen, I don't write any man off. If he's got a will, then he's got a chance.
Listen, Moses, you have sparred like everyone, right? You've sparred Joe Joyce, countless rounds, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. I think the one guy you haven't sparred is Tyson Fury. Do you think you'll get that call quite soon, considering?
I was literally in the waiting area. They literally just said they said they're going to call me up after this fight. But listen, I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I just want to put on a good performance Saturday night.
Fantastic. Moses, brilliant speaking to you. We'll
Thank
speak to you again in the week. Well done. Just
thank you.
drop your mic back there. Drop that mic. Oh, there you go. Gently done. I'll tell you, there won't be anything gentle about what he does on Saturday night from what I'm hearing. Let's go back to our MC, Thomas Treiber.
Let's now welcome a native of Russia, now fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He brings an undefeated record with 17 wins, 16 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. This Saturday night, he will be defending his NABF Heavyweight Championship. Here is Arslanbek, the Lion Makhmudov.
Makhmudov, a giant, currently based in Quebec, Canada. He's from Russia, and my goodness, he's in the same hotel as me. I've seen him walking around, and he is a terrifying man, a quite foreboding figure, Andy Clark.
Yeah, he is. He looks pretty menacing, doesn't he? Yeah. You know, he's got Mark Ramsey in the background there, so he's from the same stable as Artur Beterbiev.
Oh, there's something about those guys.
There is something about those guys. You know, he's a strong fighter. He's a strong fighter. He boxed a lot in WSB as an amateur, the 5 3-minute round format, and he had a very, very good record in it, which puts you in a good position to slipstream into pro boxing, which is what he's done, and they've built him well. Top Rank have been looking at him for a while, and they've now signed him up on a co-promotion with Eye the Tiger, who are based up in Canada. He won his first fight with Top Rank in his last fight, and he's just about ready to go now, I think. He had a good win against Carlos Takam last year.
Yeah, looks ready to go. 17-0, 16 knockouts. Mostly what he hits crumbles in front of him. The only man that's gone the distance so far is Carlos Takam. We're going to see if he can come in for a quick chat. Just a little bit scared. Let's bring in Arslanbek Makhmudov. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you still, guys?
Good to see you. This is a huge event. You must be happy to be part of this.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here, and very great, real event. You know, it's first time I've been now having this like this big event. Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very excited.
Do you feel like this is Saturday night, a huge chance for you to make a bit of a statement? For those who don't know anything about you yet, on this stage, on this platform, you can show the world who you are.
Yes, of course, it's my good opportunity to show real my performance. So I'm here for seriously. I'm here for to be champion, to compete for this title, and yes.
You have some good rankings. How far away do you think you are from being in that top level of the heavyweight division?
I don't know, but we do all the steps. We do all what we have to do for to take this chance as soon as possible. You know, I hope so. It's gonna be next year, inshallah.
You seem to have a lot of power. We have seen in your 17 wins so far, 16 have come by knockout. Where does this power come from? Tell us. Tell us.
This God give me this power, but I don't know. I honestly, I don't think so. I have like more powers than maybe another guys, but I try to do my best. I don't know.
What are your thoughts on the main event, Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou? Because you mentioned power there. Francis Ngannou is famous for the power that he has. Fury is, I would say, the best heavyweight in the world. I think everybody agrees on that.
Yes, it's a very interesting fight. Honestly, I don't think so. Somebody think it's like not like fake fight, you know. No, it's not like that because Ngannou, Ngannou, this guy, former UFC fighter, and it's heavyweight, you know. It's strong guy. We call boxing, but it's also fight, you know. It's like a street fight, you know. That's why it's dangerous fight. I don't think so. It's of course Tyson Fury is another level. He maybe #1 now, but anyway, you have to be careful.
Are you trying to make one of those statements where Tyson Fury, by the end of the night, knows who you are?
Again, repeat, please.
You want Tyson Fury to know your name at the end of the night? Do you want him to know who you are so he knows about Arsenal? Oh, he's the guy that scored a big scary knockout on my card.
Yes, he make like some funny stuff about me, and also some say some words not nice words, because he like touch my face, touch my name, like who is name. You know, you don't have to say that. It's personal stuff. You know? My name is personal stuff. If you want to say about boxing, you want to say, oh, it's not good boxer or good boxer. It's your opinion. It's no problem. But talking about personal stuff like name or I don't know, another stuff, you cannot do that. You know, it's unrespectable. You know, we have to like Tyson Fury. And also any like famous boxer have to represent and show like example for young generation to give good example, right? That's why.
Well, listen, you've got Junior Anthony Wright in front of you on Saturday night. How do you see this fight going? What's going to happen in there?
This guy, you know, very like a fast guy, you know, with good defense. That's why for me it's going to be challenge to fight with this guy. It's and also good experience, you know. That's why it's going to be a good challenge for me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Just pop your mic back there. Arslanbek Makhmudov, a heavyweight giant in action on Saturday night. Let's go back to Thomas Treiber.
Let's now welcome, coming to us from Evanston, Illinois, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 20 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw. 17 of his 20 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Junior, the Hurricane, Anthony Wright.
Makhmudov, this is the man who will be standing in his way on Saturday night. Junior Anthony Wright has the assignment of trying to take down Arslanbek Makhmudov, Andy.
Yes, and it's going to be difficult, and he will know that. He's a pretty experienced fighter, got to a good level at cruiserweight, boxed for a world title against Babet Shumanov at cruiserweight, tangled with Rakhim Chakiev as well. So he's done some travelling. He's not just boxed in the United States, been up at heavyweight for his last 5 fights or so. So he'll be aware of the scale of the task, but as I say, he is an experienced guy, and a good performance, win, lose or draw, and it can increase your stock. It can do a lot for you.
Well, that's what can happen in heavyweight boxing. Sometimes it's not always about like, oh, you have to win. If you lose well, you can be in the mix for the next guy. It was quite funny just watching him walk past Makhmudov, having to sort of look up at him as well. There is a bit of a size difference there. I think Junior Anthony Wright, as you said, did most of his work at cruiserweight, so it is quite a tall task.
Yeah, it is, and with somebody like Makhmudov, who's got the skill set to be able to impose it, it's going to be a difficult night for him. But as Makhmudov himself said, you know, in boxing, you can never take your eye off the ball. Mm-hmm. Everybody is capable of delivering a big punch at heavyweight, and if you get hit with one that you don't see, you're not braced for it, then anybody can go down, and that's exactly what you always have to believe.
Well, here he is, Junior Anthony Wright. Great to see you. How are you, sir?
Doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Big fight. That's the man that you are fighting on Saturday night. Arslanbek Makhmudov. He seems to be a wrecking ball, wrecking everyone. Tell us how you're feeling.
I feel great, man. You know, I want to thank everybody for this opportunity, man. First and foremost, I would like to thank RDR, Rodney Rice Promotions, for putting me in this position, giving me this opportunity, and Team All Business, Rashad Brown, Sean Murray, Dave Harden Sr., and my strength and conditioning coach, Kenny. I want to thank all those people and Loyal Boys, Keith and Dev, for coming out as well, and everything in preparation for this fight. I appreciate everything.
Tell us how you're going to win this fight on Saturday. Give us a hint. Come on.
Well, I'm coming straight for him, just like how he's coming for me. I'm coming at him, man. I take nothing from my opponent. He's very game. He's dangerous, but I just got that mindset to come straight forward and get the job done.
One of the things that's so great about boxing, Junior, is that you never know what's around the corner, do you? Because I was looking at your record today. Your last fight was at a hotel, I think, out by the airport in Philadelphia. Small show, and now, as you left the ring that night, you can't have imagined that you were going to end up here, but here you are.
Yes, I am, and it was a surprise because, like I said before, everything happens really, really fast, and you just don't know when these opportunities are going to come. But like they say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Go ahead.
Have you seen weaknesses in Makhmudov? He's been extended the distance only once in his career. Carlos Takam was able to take him 10 rounds. Did you see anything in that fight to give you kind of, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that?
Honestly, his fundamentals aren't that bad. He's pretty good all around. I can't really exploit whether or not I see any weaknesses. You know how the game goes, but so far he's a powerful guy, got a tremendous right hand, and his fundamentals are pretty good. So I can't really say whether or not I see any weaknesses. I'm gonna try to expose that the night of the fight.
Tell us how you feel about the main event, Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, I guess he's got to land that punch, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite obvious. Ngannou, he's a puncher. He's not going to outbox Tyson Fury. So, in my opinion, he would have to catch lightning in a bottle. That's all I see. I mean, Tyson Fury is going to control everything else. He just got to get lucky.
That is the key right there, isn't it? Because being able to land on someone like Tyson Fury is very, very difficult, and you're going to have to hit him with one that he doesn't see, because he's been hit very hard by Deontay Wilder, but he was able to see it and brace himself for it. So it's a tall order for Ngannou, isn't it, to be able to land one on Fury that he's not in a position to soak up.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because even like Deontay Wilder, you know, he's very unpredictable. Sometimes he fights like he doesn't even know when he's going to throw the punches. And to catch Tyson Fury with them kind of punches and still get up, it's going to be hard. I mean, Tyson Fury, he's got a tremendous chin, and if Deontay Wilder can't do it with his unpredictability, nobody can. That's just the way I see it, and especially not this guy. Granted, I think he's a harder puncher because he puts his weight behind his punches, and Deontay Wilder's kind of wiry. So it's going to be a tough one because I think Tyson Fury is going to see everything coming. That's just my opinion.
But you say about the unpredictable nature. Obviously, Deontay Wilder, despite him being a bit unorthodox, he was still an Olympic bronze medalist. He still had to do stuff. This guy, Francis Ngannou, no one really knows what to expect. Is that quite hard to prepare for?
No, because he's too predictable. That's just my opinion. I like Ngannou, and I wish him all the well, but in a situation like that, he's just too predictable. That's just my opinion because of all the muscles. But you know, he could surprise everyone, and he could catch Tyson Fury. It could definitely happen.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, Junior Anthony Wright.
Not a problem.
Just drop your mic there for us. And quick reminder where we are. We are here in Boulevard City in Riyadh. Absolutely incredible. Look at the lights. Absolutely unbelievable. Just beautiful. And we are at the grand arrivals to begin an epic fight week. The Battle of the Baddest. On Saturday night, we will find out who the baddest man on the planet is. But now we're going to cross over to quite a bad man himself, Thomas Treiber.
Our grand arrivals continue. Let's welcome, coming to us from South Auckland, New Zealand. He brings a professional record consisting of 32 wins, 3 defeats. 22 of his 32 wins come by way of knockout. Please welcome the former WBO world champion, Joseph Parker.
He is really feeling himself. Back in action, back on a bit of a winning trail. The last time we really saw him in a big fight was against Joe Joyce, an epic fight in which he gave it his all, came up short that night, but he's rebuilding. He's still young, Andy, and he still wants to become a world heavyweight champion again.
Yeah, again, he's got ambition, you know, and that's what it's all about, because you look at the career that he's had. He's made good money. He had 2 pay-per-view fights back-to-back in the UK a few years ago. He had Anthony Joshua, and then he went straight in his next fight against Dillian Whyte. You know, he's a clever guy. I don't think he's, you know, overly extravagant, and he would have wasted all of that money that he's made. I think he's set himself up very well. So the reason he's still here doing this is because he wants to be.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely key. It's because he feels like he can win another title. His last performance, so the performance I saw against Jack Massey, was maybe a little bit flat, but he was on a bit of a hiding to nothing in that fight, to be honest, because Massey, stepping up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, he was expected to blow him away, Joseph, and if he didn't, then he was going to get criticised. But Massey's a good fighter with some good fundamentals. He wasn't too expansive. You know, going the distance was a win for him. So I think it was probably a bit of a frustrating night for him in the end. But I was just saying, Joe, that the fight against Jack Massey was one of those ones where you couldn't really win in a way. Obviously, you did win, but you know what I mean by that, because people expected you to knock him out and knock him out early because he stepped up from cruiserweight. But he was a guy with some good technique and some good fundamentals, you know, and he made you work very hard.
Listen, he came in prepared and he came in ready, and he did a lot of moving. And people did expect me to go out there and smash him and get him out of there. But when you have a tough competitor like Jack Massey, it was quite hard to get him out of there. So, but I've adjusted a few things in camp. I've done a lot of work, more work with Andy, more work with George. And coming into this fight, I feel great.
Listen,
I feel very good.
In your career, Joe, you've seen a lot. You've seen it all. You've been at the top of the mountain. You've been a world heavyweight champion. You've seen bright lights. What are you seeing here tonight? This is quite incredible, isn't it?
This is incredible. I think just being on the card is amazing, and to put, we've worked very hard, so I'm looking forward to putting it all on display. But this is incredible. Like, I think everyone that's in attendance is going to be amazed. Like, this is amazing what they've done for this, and I'm just very grateful to be here.
Well, you're here because you are fighting Simon Kean on Saturday night. Simon Kean has only been beaten once. He can whack a little bit, 22 knockouts. Tell us how you're feeling about this fight.
Simon Kean, Olympian, got a good record, good knockout ratio, and I think it's just I wasn't quite aware of Simon Kean before the fight happened. I watched a lot of footage on him now, and he is powerful and he's strong, and I just have to be very careful when I'm in there and box the way I want to box.
Tell us what's going to happen. Come on, give me something. You know I'm going to ask you for a prediction. Come on, Joe.
Every time I say I'm going to knock someone out, it doesn't happen. But I want to listen. Everyone wants a knockout. That's what I want. So going into the fight, I just got to listen to what Andy says, take my time, and get him out of there if I can or when I can.
I was saying as you walked over that you've done an awful lot in your career already, and you're at that stage where you're doing this because you want to. You made good money in your career, and you're probably you're a shrewd guy. I'm sure you've set yourself up, but it's because you've still got ambition to achieve in the sport that you're still here.
My ambition for what I can achieve in the sport is high, and there's been a lot of adjustments, and like along the journey you have to change this and change that, and I feel like I've got it I feel like I got it right now, and I feel like I've only just begun again, and we'll see when fight night comes.
Tell me this, Joe. You've been in camp with Tyson Fury. You've been around him. We saw him probably, publicly a few weeks ago at that launch press conference. He didn't look in amazing shape, but now we're seeing him now. He looks in great shape. What have you guys been doing in there?
Listen, Tyson's got Sugar Hill here. He's got George Lockhart. He's got Andy Lee, and he's got myself. And I think together as a team, we've put in some great work. And he's had great sparring. He's had great training, and I think we're all in shape for this fight. Even the trainers.
Well, you say even the trainer. I have to mention Andy Lee's incredible powder blue, light blue suit and trainers combination that you can't see at home, which is an absolute crime because the man is looking sharp.
Training camp is not just for the fighters.
Yeah.
It's for everyone.
Do you know what, Andy? We're going to bring you in. Come in. We need to see this.
We do.
Goodness me.
The people need to see it.
Andy bigging up, and Andy, look at that suit. Goodness me.
Best dressed man in the place.
Look at that.
Hold on. Hey.
Unbelievable.
Oh, sorry, Joe. Damn.
How's a big man looking? Is he going to be world champion again?
We're on our way to it. Yes, that's his ambition. Since we met, that's been our goal, and we're very, very close to it now.
How do you feel about this Simon Kean fella? Big hitter.
Big hitter, big strong, good fundamentals, European style. Even though he's from Canada, an Olympian, so he's got some pedigree about him. But Joe's just a class above, I think, and from the work we've been doing, the improvements he's made, I'm excited to show you what he's done.
All right, look, we can't wait for it. We've thoroughly enjoyed looking at that suit. Yeah. We've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, Mr. Joe Parker.
Thank you very much.
Joe, Andy, thank you. Andy, you stay, and we're going to go back to our MC, Thomas Treiber.
Let's welcome first, coming to us from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, Canada. His professional record, 23 wins, just 1 defeat. 22 of his 23 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Simon the Grizzly Kean.
That was quite an intense shot from our cameraman. It felt like he was staring right through me there, Simon Kean. Andy Lee's come to have a look at this screen as well. There's something about this fella. He's got a walk about him. He's got a swag about him. And again, just like with Makhmudov, I'm a little bit scared, Andy.
Yeah, there's a big team they brought over too because they're both from the same stable, Eye of the Tiger, up in Canada. So, that helps because there's a familiarity that comes with that, with having a lot of the same people around you and one of your training partners as well. And you mentioned his record, and it is a good record. There's not, that many names on it in terms of the level that he's been at. The defeat was a while ago, so he's well and truly over that. But again, I feel like he's one of these guys who he will feel like he's ready to go, and he will look at Joe Parker and just think, this is the perfect guy for me, because he's been a world champion. He's still very, very well ranked, and he won't be thinking anything other than a win. But as we just said, win, lose or draw, a good performance, and it can do a lot for you. I mean, we saw it with Dempsey McKean, didn't we, for example, against Filip Hrgovic.
Exactly
that kind of performance,
good example.
If you don't win, it can still take you a long way. And I think, it's a leap, but at some point you have to make one.
Well, look, he's one of those names that we've seen like on BoxRec. He's been around the heavyweight division a little while, and it feels like he's awaiting his breakout fight. Simon Kean, hello, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll do my best because I don't speak English, but I'll do my best.
Okay, well, look, is this a translator? Can you help?
Yeah, I'll help them.
Okay. Well, listen, we're not going to keep you for too long, but Joseph Parker believes that he will knock you out on Saturday night in front of all these people in Riyadh. What do you think about that?
Of course you want to knock me out. I want to knock him out too. It's, everybody said that, but I don't know what to say, but I'm not going to let you knocking me out. No.
Well, listen, only Joe Joyce has been able to actually stop him. He's still a man who wants to become world heavyweight champion again. He's got big ambitions. What are your ambitions in the sport right now, Simon Kean?
My ambition, first of all, I want to beat Joseph Parker. It's my only that thing. I think only that win, and after that, I'm looking for what's going to happen.
Listen, what we're going to ask you to do...
step by step. So we've got a big fights coming up. So I'm focused on that. We had a great training camp. So I believe in myself. I never stop believing. Let's go.
Well, listen, you sound like you believe in yourself. You look in tremendous shape. We're going to ask you to do one thing. We want you to send a message to Joseph Parker. What do you want to tell him?
Hey, Joseph. I'm not hungry. I'm starving.
Well, there we go. You're not hungry, you're starving. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Simon Kean. There's a starving Simon Kean taking on Joseph Parker on Saturday night. Let's go back to our MC, who isn't starving. I saw him eating a bag of crisps. Thomas Schreiber.
Let's now welcome, coming to us from Ipswich, England. He is undefeated with 16 wins. 15 of his 16 wins come by way of knockout. And this Saturday night, he will be defending his British and WBA Continental Championships. Here is Fabio Wardley.
Here comes the unbeaten Fabio Wardley, the British heavyweight champion, the WBA Continental heavyweight champion, and maybe, listen, if Andy Clark wasn't here, maybe Fabio Wardley would be the coolest man here tonight. Unfortunately, Andy, he's not.
It's just his bad luck, isn't it? What can I say? But Fabio's one of these guys who I picked up his career from an early stage, working on it, covering it, when he started boxing on Sky when he was 3-4 fights in. And what you realised about him straight away was that he was one of these people who just gets it, the whole thing. The fact that you need to market yourself, the fact that you need to have something to say, that you need to keep your eye on your own career and as much as you can drive it yourself. He would want to be on board with every decision that's made about everything that he does. He's that kind of guy. So like David, he is somebody who feels like he belongs here.
Yeah.
And as previously discussed, that's really, really important. And there's no real bluffing that. Sometimes when you speak to someone about their ambitions, they've got a lot to say, but it doesn't really convince you. But with other people, they've got that more kind of measured look about them, and what they say to you, you tend to believe it. I was just saying that from the start when I started covering your pro career, you always struck me as being one of these people who you understood the sport, you understood the business, you understood what was required of you, kind of inside and outside the ring. And this is the kind of place that you've always felt that
supposed to be,
that you belonged in.
Yeah, massively. There's a lot more that goes into boxing than just, look, you got to be a good boxer at the end of the day, you got to put on a show, but it's an entertainment sport as well. You got to entertain the fans, you got to entertain the people that want to come watch you, that pay their good hard-earned money to sit in seats. So you got to do that bit, and you've got to do all of this as well, and this is something special.
Well, Fabio, look, I was saying to Andy, I mean, you're looking fantastic. I said, if Andy wasn't here, you'd probably be the coolest dressed person here.
Oh, nice. I tell you what, he distracted me on my walk in. I went, go on, Andy.
I wheel this one out for the big occasions. Last time I wore this, I was getting married.
Yeah,
true story.
Okay.
There you go. Well, big occasion for you on Saturday night. David Adeleye wants to take your head off. How do you feel about that?
Well, everyone wants to take my head off nowadays, but it's nothing new for me. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's a fiery matchup. Look, it's going to be something special, I think. I think the event, the spectacle that it is going to bring something out of the both of us. Like, we all know with me that, look, if it's go time and you want to get stuck in, then I'm ready for that anytime, any place, anywhere. But we haven't seen so much of that from David. So maybe this event, maybe this spectacle will bring that out of him, and he'll want to get involved, and we can put on a show for everyone that's tuning in to watch.
Well, look, a lot of people talk about how this is the step up for Adeleye. Is it a step up for you? Young, unbeaten, hungry, heavy-handed British heavyweight. Is it?
Yeah, you've got a way with words, a way with spinning it to make it sound maybe a bit more spicy than it is. I don't know. Look, he's got all the I don't know, taglines which you're putting on him. That maybe it could turn into be something like that. Do I think it's my hardest test yet? I'm not convinced, but show me on the night and we'll see.
4 belts on the line, Andy, as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the vacant Commonwealth too, which is another terrific belt to win. You've got some good rankings, actually, haven't you, with the WBA, the IBF. You're in at number 15 now as well. He's got 9 with the WBO. So, there's that ladder to climb as well as keeping hold of the British. In terms of the build-up, it was unfortunate what happened at the press conference. You both would have learned a lesson from that. But it has made the fight bigger. Yeah. I mean, you talked about this being the entertainment business, and it's put a bigger spotlight on it.
Yeah, massively. The fight was already pretty big to begin with. People, like I say, there was undefeated, both British heavyweights getting in there, putting it on the line, and then a bit of unfortunate incident at the previous presser, but it did what it did, and it added more fuel to the fire and made it more spicy. So, yeah, I think a few extra people are going to be tuning in to watch just to see how we get on.
Listen, Fabio, it's Tuesday today. We're just a few days away. You're going to be asked for your prediction several times before the fight. This is me asking you for the first time. What's going to happen on Saturday?
I'm going to keep count all through the week of how many times. Look, Saturday, I think most of us purist boxing, I think we've got Fury backed. I think we just think that we've seen his dominance in standard boxing and that without that kind of that MMA crossover. So I think when he steps in the ring on the night, I think the expectation is obviously for him to win. I think that's a lot of us feel that way. But Ngannou has a left and a right question mark in either hand, and I think he's going to be looking to put that on for everyone to see.
Wow, what about your question marks? What is David Adeleye going to think about the question marks you present him on Saturday? What's going to happen in your fight?
I don't know. After I hit him with him, he's not going to be thinking too much, I don't think.
Andy, such a good fight.
It's a great fight. It's a great fight because you've got... In Fabio, you've got somebody who is genuinely heavy-handed, and I think there's more to come on the power front because he's able to hit people hard sometimes when he's not even really that set. So I'll be interested to see what he's been doing in the gym, because if he could just sort of sit down on his shots a little bit more, then I feel like he's maybe at about 70% power at the minute, possibly.
Is that accurate? 70%? You got a bit more?
Yeah, look, you definitely haven't seen the most of me. You haven't seen the best of me. You haven't seen the most of me. Probably, as you guys said before, I came from that white-collar background of not having those pedigrees that step up before. So I've been in the lab, I've been doing the hard work, I've been going back to kind of the real basics of boxing and those key details, and you'll see all the finals of that on the night.
Do you think we need more than 70% of you to beat David Adeleye on Saturday?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do a Eubank and say you need 60% or whichever. But look, I always take my fight seriously, regardless of the build-up, regardless of everything else, regardless of the opponent. I don't care who it is. It could be someone you found from the crowd. I'm going to be training at 100%, and I'm going to take 100% of me into the ring. So that's irrelevant. I'm going to do my job.
We can't wait. Fabio Wardley, thank you so much for speaking to us. Let's go back to the one and only Thomas Treiber.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that completes the grand arrivals of our undercard fighters. And before we get to our main event participants, we would like to extend a big thank you to His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Al Sheikh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our main event this Saturday night, it is a WBC special event scheduled for 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. We will first welcome a native of Cameroon, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. He has a professional MMA record consisting of 17 wins, 3 defeats, with 12 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the lineal mixed martial arts heavyweight world champion, Francis the Predator Ngannou.
Well, here comes the Predator. Somewhere in that crowd, the cameraman is making his way to him now. The man who has spent his life making the impossible possible, and he has quite a tall task in front of him on Saturday night. He's the lineal MMA heavyweight champion. He never lost his UFC heavyweight title in the ring. He has now left that organisation and is free rolling, really. He's got Tyson Fury in front of him in such a huge crossover event. He's got it all to do, but he really, really believes in himself, Andy.
100% he does. You look at what he's achieved in his own sport, and there's every reason that he should. What I'm looking forward to this week, before we get to the actual fight, is just watching how these two just comport themselves, how they are around each other, which we'll see more at the press conference and the weigh-in than we will today and at the workouts tomorrow, because you've got two people who are both king of their own hill here, and they will behave accordingly. Fury will feel he's been the king of his particular hill for a while now, since he beat Wilder in that second fight, and they'll have gone into every fight since feeling like he is very much, you know, the A side, as people like to talk about. And that brings a certain kind of swagger. But when you've got somebody coming out of the opposite corner, in whatever the setting is, who can match you for that, because they have that similar resolution, you know, we've got two silverbacks here, haven't we, basically?
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
what we've got.
And look, this man is all smiles right now. He's got those sunglasses on. He's got a lovely jacket on. There's plenty of swag here from Francis Ngannou. And when you think about the story, when you think about where he come from, it makes it even more unbelievable. The Predator, they call him, and he is looking the part right now. Francis Ngannou.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. And you can tell just how used to it, how used to this situation and this stage he is. He looks every inch what he is, which is an absolutely top-level athlete and extremely experienced. I hesitate to use the word celebrity, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly that, exactly that. And what he was known for, of course, in MMA was being able to punch people very, very hard. I think that could help him on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about this, you know, a few times during the course of the last hour or so, and I'm researching this at the minute for something else I'm working on, and the reality is, and everybody agrees on this, everyone I've spoken to, trainers, managers, fighters, promoters, anyone can go if they get hit with one they don't see. Anyone. It's difficult to hit Tyson Fury with one that he doesn't see. I'm not going to make any pretense about that. That's going to be a hard thing to pull off, but if he somehow can do it, then he punches hard enough that Fury will be in serious trouble.
Yeah, absolutely that. Look, the way Tyson Fury keeps describing it, he says, listen, if I go down the pub and I pick a fight with someone and they land one, it's still going to hurt me. I'm still going to be in trouble, let alone a killer like Francis Ngannou, who punches people in the head for a living and tends to render them unconscious.
Yeah, I think sometimes people can underestimate, strangely, what it is that they're actually doing in there. Because if you go to boxing a lot and you see it live, then you hear and feel almost the punches land. And it takes it to a new kind of dimension, a new kind of level. If you're more used to watching it on TV, then I think maybe you don't really get that perception of the incredibly serious nature of their business. If he lands his right hand on someone, they've got a problem. It's as simple as that, really.
Francis, wonderful to see you.
Good to see you, Dave.
Look around. Yes, this time you did remember. You remembered my name. It's Dave. Great to see you. Amazing occasion. Can you believe it? Pinch yourself. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. Walking from there, I was looking at it. I'm like, damn, the boy has made it. I mean, I don't know what's the limit, what to really know that you made it, but I think I have made it.
I believe
I
that you...
think we have made it because it's two of us on the poster, and then it's arguably both of us complete each other in this case.
I think so. Look, I understand you've brought over a lot of your family as well. They are here to witness what you are doing. Have you brought your mother over as well? Is that right?
Yeah, she's been here for 2 weeks already.
Wow.
She's not here right now. She's at the game because she's going to meet Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, wow. Your friend Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah. It's my boy.
Yeah, look at that. That's that Ronaldo gave you that watch, didn't he?
Yeah.
So tell us, Andy, I mean, big task ahead of him on Saturday night. Most of the boxing world are writing him off. What do you think?
I'm curious to know how's training gone? How have you gone about trying to kind of replicate what Fury will do?
Well, I didn't try to replicate what Fury would do. I was trying to install my own rules, how I go. You know, I'm not going there to play Fury game, but I'm going there to play my own game. So my training was based on like me, how I gonna fight to win Fury, and that's what me and my coaches we work on it. And he went well, tough, but he went well. We started earlier because I'm aware of my lack of experience in this sport, in boxing. I know it's my first fight, but I'm a man of challenge, and I have overcome a lot of challenges.
So has it been a case of concentrating on kind of pure boxing technique, those kind of mechanics that will allow you to punch as hard as possible?
Yes. I mean, this entire time I was focused on boxing. The good thing is that I have some basis, some fundamental of boxing. Even before MMA, I did amateur boxing for a little bit, even before discover MMA. So coming back into it, of course, over the time, my reflex was little MMA style, but in the past 4 months, I was focusing in boxing and trying to get that back, you know, and it was quite different from my other training camp.
Well, listen, Francis, we're going to ask you one final thing before we let you go, okay? The world will be watching on Saturday night. Everyone will be watching. What will they say about Francis Ngannou after this fight?
They will say Francis Ngannou is the damn man.
Baddest man on the planet?
Hey, we are the baddest man on the planet. You know, like, okay, this is the idea. Before everything, before the fight happened, and then after everything, anything that could happen on Saturday night, there are two, right? We are already number two baddest man on the planet, just aiming for the first spot.
So if you win, would you then say, okay, well, I've been Tyson Fury, so I want to come back here in December and fight Alexander Usyk?
Alexander Usyk, I think if I win, which is what I would like to have. If Tyson win, I would like him to give me a rematch, and I think if I win, I will give him a rematch. And I think, honestly, I think Tyson Fury is by far the best match for me than Alexander Usyk.
All right, we can't wait.
I've been working on waiting for Tyson Fury for 4 years, and at the time I didn't have any knowledge about Alexander Usyk. So when comes the moment, I'm on Tyson Fury. He's the guy.
Thank you so much, Francis. We're going to let you go. We'll speak to you so many more times this week. Thank you, sir. We'll speak to you very soon.
Appreciate you.
Just drop your mic there. That is Francis Ngannou. Look at the size of him. The Predator. Cool, calm, hits very hard. Andy, first time you met him?
Yeah, first time.
What
First time. He's impressive. He's impressive. You know, he's very relaxed in this kind of context, which you'd expect him to be. And just talking to him about his training there, that makes sense to me. Trying to get a sparring partner who's going to replicate what Fury may or may not do, because he can do it a number of different ways, is very, very difficult. So concentrating on yourself in that context, I think, is the right thing to do. And interesting to hear that he's got a little bit of an amateur background, because it is about the mechanics, it's about the fundamentals, about the technique, because he can't worry too much about what's coming back the other way. He knows that he has to land to have a chance.
Well, we're going to go over now to a man who's about to land a massive, massive introduction, the one and only Thomas Treiber. We're not going to go to him just yet, actually. He wasn't quite ready to land that big one. But Andy, I'll tell you, we are moments away now from the arrival of Tyson Fury, the lineal heavyweight champion. This is all about him, really. He is the man. He is the king. And, I mean, big moment.
Yeah, he's in an incredible time in his life at the moment as well. You look at the Netflix thing, and then there's this massive event, and then potentially Usyk by the end of the year. It's just, the spell he's in at the minute it's incredible.
Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let's welcome two of the greatest professional boxing promoters in history. They are both in the International Boxing Hall of Fame, Mr. Bob Arum and Mr. Frank Warren.
All right, well, look at this. I'll tell you, you've got a massive, massive event when you've got not one, but two Hall of Fame boxing promoters in town to promote it, to bang the drum, and they are really making things happen for Tyson Fury. Frank Warren and Bob Arum there, Andy.
Yeah, these are a fascinating pair of individuals. They really are. You think about the amount of time they've spent in the sport, you think about the amount of things that they've achieved, and it's kind of mind-boggling, really. And they're both amazing company.
Yeah.
You know, you understand immediately how they've managed to do what they've done, because they're those kinds of people who make you kind of feel a little bit special just by having a conversation with you. They make you feel like you're kind of the only person in the room, and they're capable of doing that with everybody they speak to. It's great to have them here. It really is.
It's great to have them here. We'll have a chat with them very, very shortly. Just doing a few photos for the red carpet. Nothing they haven't seen before. Frank Warren and Bob Arum, two Hall of Fame boxing promoters. And what an event we have got on Saturday night. The Battle of the Baddest. And Frank Warren said at the very start of this event, he said this is going to be the biggest show, biggest event that he's ever been involved in. Initially, I just thought, oh, that's a good line, Frank. But you look around what we've got here tonight, some of the shots that we've shown you on this stream, incredible, absolutely incredible. And I'll make him right. Let's have a chat with Frank and Bob, as he calls Andy the young man. Frank, I think you're coming in with me. Hello, sir. How you doing? I'm good. I'm good.
Where's Bob?
Bob, if you want to come in as well. Frank, listen, let's start with you. At the very start of the promotion of this whole event, you said it's going to be the biggest show you've ever been involved with. Look around. It is, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's actually bigger than I thought it would be. This is magnificent. I've never seen promotion like it. You know, everywhere you go, not just here, in the world, it's everywhere, in all the major cities. It's fabulous. And it's going to be such a brilliant night, there's no doubt about it.
Bob, you've been on an amazing ride with Tyson Fury as well, with Frank these last few years. I'm just curious, when was the first time you heard about this 6'9" fighter called Tyson Fury?
We heard about it, Frank and I, and we didn't quite believe it, because we asked, where are you going to put it here in Riyadh? And they said, well, we haven't built the arena yet. I said, well, you only have a couple of months before the fight's going to happen. And look, out there, they built the arena. How did they do it quickly?
60 days.
Right. In the States, it would take at least 2.5 years to build an arena like this.
They should bring the guys over to finish the H2
Right.
tunnel.
I guess they don't have unions.
No, they don't.
Tyson Fury, he's fully crossed over now, and this is for both of you guys to talk about here. Netflix #1. He's got singles. He's got books. I mean, he does it all, Frank.
He does. I mean, he's become a worldwide celebrity, and it's down to hard work. I mean, hard work in the ring and outside the ring with the various ventures that he gets involved with. But one thing about him, whatever he gets involved with, it's successful. He's a very successful guy.
He's really at the top of his game at the moment, Bob.
Well, yeah. I mean, even in the States, he's big news, because since Muhammad Ali, we haven't seen an athlete, let alone a boxer, like him. I mean, he is just captivates everything that he sets his mind to do.
But he's got a guy in front of him on Saturday who hits very hard and will be trying to take his head off. Are you nervous, Bob?
Yeah, of course. I mean, because that guy was training in my home city of Las Vegas, and that the word got back to me from everybody who was watching him that he was knocking guys down in the gym and that he has the most powerful punch they've seen. That being said, he doesn't have the boxing experience that Tyson Fury has, but I just hope that Tyson is smart enough, and I'm sure he is, to not to stand toe-to-toe with this guy and trade punches.
Well, Frank, let's bring you in here. Do you think Tyson will stand to-toe with him?
Well, look,
toe-to-toe?
what Bob's saying is a sensible way to go about it. But what he's done in his last couple of fights, certainly with Deontay Wilder, he stood toe-to-toe with the biggest punching heavyweight in the last 40 or 50 years.
Well, that wasn't so smart. He got knocked down twice.
Listen, I'm with you on it. Don't worry about that. I'm with you. But he done it. And obviously his eye will be on he wants to fight again before the end of the year. So I don't want him to get fazed by that. I just want him to go out and do a job and do it properly. But I think it's going to be very exciting.
Says he wants 10 more fights, Frank.
Well, listen, as long as he's fit and well and he wants to do it, then, that's not a problem.
No, I mean, I think he should, a couple of more fights and then run for Parliament.
Well, we've heard from Bob, we've heard from Frank. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
It's a pleasure.
We are now going to go back to our MC, Thomas Treiber.
Let's now welcome, fighting out of Morecambe, England. He brings an undefeated professional record with 33 wins, 1 draw. 24 of his 33 wins come by way of knockout. He is the lineal boxing heavyweight world champion and the reigning WBC heavyweight champion of the world, known as the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
Well, here he comes, the one and only Tyson Fury, of course, plugging the brand new Furosity, which has just come out, and of course, dressed for the occasion. It's always like a question, what is Tyson Fury going to wear to these events? And now we have the answer, Andy. He might even show you up.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't attempt to pull that off. I really, never in a million years. But it's just good to see him. It's always good to see him, isn't it? Because he brings an awful lot to this sport. And I remember me and you spoke to him a few days before his fight with Derek Chisora last year, when he came back after a brief retirement, and he basically said, didn't he, that he tried retirement and it scared him because he didn't have the routine, the focus, the adrenaline, the ambition, everything that you can think of that boxing brings him, and he knows that he can't really replace it, and he wants to keep doing this for as long as he feels that he's able to do it, and that is good news for the sport. For the sport of boxing, absolutely no question about that.
Absolutely. Well, look, he can certainly do it at the moment. He's certainly very able doing it. Nobody has cracked the code yet of Tyson Fury, unbeaten lineal and WBC World Heavyweight Champion, and perhaps, the snazziest dresser in boxing as well. There's always a nice surprise from Tyson Fury as he soaks in the lights that he's oh so used to now.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely. And it's taken a while, for things to materialise for him this year. When this fight was announced, people were wondering what was going on really, but they knew, I think at that point, that there was a bigger plan in the background, that things could happen off the back of it. Obviously, if things go as he expects them to on Saturday, then we expect to see him back here against Alexander Usyk on December the 23rd, which would be 2 absolutely colossal events within the space of 8 or 9 weeks, which is just not what you ever normally see, and that again is great for the sport, because we've seen some big fights this year. Everybody's been looking at the heavyweight division and saying that the heavyweight division is letting us down, but if by the end of the year we get what we've all been waiting for, then we can no longer say that.
Well, let's bring in the man himself, the one and only Tyson Fury. How are you, sir?
Look at me. I'm a specimen of a man.
We were wondering
Ready
what you were going to wear.
action.
You're even showing Andy up.
I'm ready to rock and roll, son.
You've done so many red carpets now in
Yeah.
your life, in your career, and everything you're doing. How'd you
I
find
knew it
this
was a
one?
red carpet, so I came in the red vest. And I had to do it cowboy style, so we're repping Saudi Arabia. This is how we do it.
How are you finding?
This is how we get down in Riyadh town.
How are you finding Riyadh? This is amazing. Look around.
It's unbelievable. This is a fantastic city, fantastic country. The people are unbelievable, and all of Team Fury are very, very, very happy to be here.
Andy's just met Francis Ngannou for the first time. He was quite impressed, you know.
What is he, a proper sausage?
No, I mean, he cuts a pretty impressive figure. He's at the top of his game, isn't he? You're at the top of yours.
Yeah,
And that's what's interesting about this. When he walked in, I said, it's like we've got two silverbacks, basically, both kind of like king of their own hill. He expects to win.
Well, when he feels this big right hand, he won't be winning very much.
We just spoke to Frank and Bob, right? And Bob was very clear. He said, Tyson can't stand and trade with him. We don't want him to do that.
Behave yourself. I can stand and trade with anybody. I stood and traded with Wilder, stood and traded with Vladimir. I'll stand and trade with this little bitch.
You can see Ngannou now. He's on the camera there. What
Yeah,
would
he
you
looks
see?
like a proper sausage.
Looks cool and
I've
calm.
heard the dreadlocks, but what are those shitlocks?
So you think you can stand and trade with this guy who hits harder than anyone else in the world, right?
Says who?
Well, he was in the Guinness Book of World Records, Tyson.
Well, I've not had a go at punching, so he ain't beat me. I have beat the actual biggest puncher in boxing and knocked him out. So yeah, until he beats me, he can only ever dream about that record. The biggest puncher in combat sports, me.
We saw that shift in style that you brought into the second Wilder fight, and I guess since then, this is you now, isn't it? This is what you want to bring, because in the heavyweight division, what people want to see, what they've always wanted to see for decades, is knockouts, and you want to give the people what they want to see.
Well, I might give him a knockout, or I might give him a slick master boxing performance. Not let the ugly man touch me once. That'd be unbelievable, wouldn't it? Come out and start dancing, tripling the jab like Apollo Creed. Stick and move, Rocky, stick and move. Bums brawl, don't they? You can go to a pub and see two big lumps knocking shit out of each other. But what I can do is only a gift from God. Not very many people can do what I can do. Twist and move, bend, treble that jab, follow 4 right hands behind it, slip and counter with my hands down. It's like a unique gift.
How would you fight you?
I wouldn't want to. Because any man who comes in front of me will lose.
Whose outfit's actually better today, your one or Francis? Because we've just seen him on the screen.
I think I've got more colour in mine, and Francis has got more sparkles in his. But I've always been led to believe that sparkles are for girls, so, yeah.
Well, we'll put that to him.
Ask him.
Yeah,
I haven't got a single sparkle on me. I've got a unshaved face and a big bald head, and plenty of chest hairs on show. However, he's wearing sparkles, which in my opinion are for girls, glitter and stuff. Kids and girls. So yeah, we'll see. And he's got sunglasses on in the dark, which is a big no-no.
We can see that. Actually.
That equals proper sausage, in my opinion.
Listen, look, they say he hits as hard as a small family car, right? So what does Tyson Fury hit as hard as?
A wooden mop.
Good job.
Do you ever kind of take a moment to just kind of look at where you are in your life ever during your career? Because look at where you are at the minute. You know, you're the smash hit on Netflix.
Yeah.
You're front and centre of this, which is massive.
Look at this, it's unbelievable, isn't
if
it?
what you expect to happen happens on Saturday, then we'll have another one in December. That'll be 2 back-to-back. You know, do you ever kind of take pause and just think about what you've done with your life?
I just sometimes look in the mirror and think I'm an absolute genius. and when everyone thought it was all over for the GK, he comes and totally redeems himself. And pulls this out the hat. And here we are. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, just only 6 months ago, I didn't even know if I was ever going to box again. And then, here we go. Never mind just doing a fight with him. I've got another big fight lined up and so much more to come. So many more big things in the hat. So, Houdini.
How much are you thinking about the other big fight? Because you just mentioned it there, but
I'm
you brought it up.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's facts. Mm-hmm. But I'm not thinking about it. I've got this big sausage to deal with, and once I've grilled him up nice and good, then we'll get on to the next one.
If he is there, Alexander Usyk, and my understanding is he is there, just like he was after your Derek Chisora fight. Say he gets up on the apron, say he gets in the ring. How do you see all of this playing out?
I don't see anything. You know, this is our night. Nothing to do with the rabbit. And yeah, it is what it is. This is our night. And look, our names are up in lights and big screens everywhere and posters and that. So it's really about us. It's not about the rabbit on this occasion. He will get his turn soon.
The world will be watching as well. Cristiano Ronaldo. So many megastars are going to be there. It's quite something, Tyson.
Unbelievable. All the biggest stars from around the world in all sports and things are coming. Actors, MMA fighters, boxers, everybody. So it's going to be a big event of who's who. I believe it's the biggest sports gala of the most champions ever been before in history, right here in Riyadh. So we're all looking forward to it.
Big night, Andy.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive, and this can see the heavyweight division basically just close out the year in incredible style, because people have been pointing at the heavyweight division a little bit when we've seen Spence Crawford and fights like that, and just wanting...
Spence Crawford, though, wasn't really a good fight, was it? The imagination of the fight was better than the actual fight.
It was.
And that's what I think. I think once we've had the big fights, then there's nothing more to look forward to. The anticipation of watching Spence and Crawford was much better than the actual event. It's like waiting for an event like Christmas, and you gear up to it, you do all your shopping, you round it all up, wrap them all up, and then it's here and it's gone. It's like, well, all right, see you next year, guys. It's quite pointless.
But you've got to see it, though, haven't you, to know?
Well, we saw that one. It wasn't all that, and it was what it was. But, yeah, whatever you say, Andy.
Your promoter, Frank Warren, one of your promoters, has said that you are now...
Am I the only fighter in the world who's got not one, but 2 Hall of Fame boxing promoters?
Can't be bad, right?
Oh, I'm flying, isn't I?
Well, look, he says that you're now the biggest star in world boxing. You've overtaken Canelo Alvarez. Agree?
Listen, I don't pay no heed to all that stuff, stars and whatever else. I just come here, do my job, get paid, go home. I don't pay any attention to it. I don't do any fancy dancy stuff. Go back to Morecambe and just do the bins and all that shit what I usually do. So, yeah, you could be the most famous person in the world, but if you don't leave Morecambe, you don't reap any rewards out of it, do you? It's not that I don't get invited to all these fancy places like the Formula One and the tennis and all these sort of things, but it's having the time and getting away from the family and going there on my own. And if it's not a family event and kids are welcome, then I'm probably not going to go. So if there's any family stuff going, like Disney trips and things and all that, then holler at me. But if there's not, then get somebody else, single person, I think.
Well, look, it's quite a big moment for him, Tyson, as well. He's brought his whole family. His mum's here to watch him as well. As much as you understand, you believe you're going to knock him out, etc., you must have a quiet admiration for his story and the fact that he has joined you on this big stage.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, it takes 2 to tango, and he deserves to be here. He's going to earn his money the hard way, and good luck to him. I can't say any more. He's gone from being homeless, eating rats on the street of Paris, to now being right at the side of the big GK up there in lights. So, and he's getting a massive payday. So congratulations. He's trained hard, so have I, and we're both going to throw down and see who wins.
Final one, Tyson. What's going to happen on Saturday night? Tell us.
I'm going to knock this big fella out.
Not going to change your mind now that he's over there looking so big and glittery?
No, I told you, glitters and sparkles are for girls. And yeah, I'm going to chin him.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining
All the
us,
best.
Mr. Fury.
Thank you.
And now, one and only Andy Clark has gone for a bit of a wander. Let's go and join him.
Okay, so I thought I'd go for a little bit of a roam around. I spotted Mauricio Suleiman just a minute or so ago. I seem to have kind of lost track of him somehow, which is a little bit of a schoolboy error. He could be lurking around here somewhere. Actually, let's pull in my pal Ziad Al Mayouf, famous Saudi fighter, carrying the hopes of the Saudi nation on his boxing shoulders. You're not fighting on this card, but you've been boxing on the other big cards we've seen over here. You know what this means to the country. You know what this means to Riyadh to have these 2 guys here.
Just having these 2 guys here doesn't only mean so much to Riyadh and Saudi Arabia. It means a lot to boxing. We get to bring boxing back, and what better place to do it than Saudi Arabia? And all we see now is just because you see a huge change that is being developed into the sport of boxing, and it gets countries like Saudi Arabia that want to be, investing in it. And His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh just doing all of this is something we've never seen before. I've been to fights in Vegas, in the UK, everywhere around the US. This is much bigger than what I would have dreamt of as a kid coming up from the boxing system here.
Okay, great. Always good to see you. We'll catch you again during the week, I'm sure. Okay, so I'll just have a little bit of a nose down here. Fabio Wardley just away to our left-hand side, just heading into the ranks of the media. Mauricio Suleiman has been waylaid by Radio Raheem. I'm asking a lot of my cameraman here, Junior. I'm pulling him one way, then the other, making him go forward, making him reverse, back up. So, Shane, if we could just catch a quick word with you, if that's okay. So how's the build up to this one been for you?
I think it's just started today, actually. We've done a bit yesterday. This week is when it starts. We've just been focusing on what we needed to do this week. And yeah, ready for a big build up this week.
Is it different because he's not in with the kind of opponent that people would expect him to be in with? Has it got a different feel to it?
Not to us. I've said in a ton of interviews this week. I think he brings as much danger as the rest of them. Tyson can beat them all anyway. So, yeah, I think he fetches as much danger as anyone else. But we're confident in getting the job done. He's looking good in the gym anyway.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks very much. Let's go down the carpet, actually. Let's go down the red carpet. I've always wanted to do this. Francis Ngannou just a chat to our right-hand side. A lot of media you would expect. So Mauricio Suleiman, I think, has just finished. So I'm going to pounce on him. Mauricio, sorry, can I just borrow you for 1 minute? I won't hold you up, I promise. It'll be 1 minute. I swear to you, 1 minute. Massive event, this, isn't it?
It's a massive event. I'm so excited. This is something that the world has been waiting for, and it's a new beginning of the sport. It's a new beginning. Boxing is going through world champions, so many great influencers, so many Japan, Tyson Fury in the UK, Canelo in Mexico, Crawford. So it's the world shining in boxing, and this event you cannot top.
Okay, Mauricio, good to see you. Hey, Dev, back to you.
Andy Clark out there just living his best life. I love that Martin Brundle kind of style. He's getting out there, he's getting up amongst it all. I'll tell you, one thing about this fight, one thing about this event, I have seen some of the best promos ever made in combat sports. Have a look at this one. Well, look, these promos are absolutely incredible, and I'm sure they have whet your appetite. I can just hear Tyson Fury shouting out in an interview. I'm sure there's going to be some great videos coming out later. And just a reminder, if you want to watch this event on Saturday night, if you're in the UK, TNT Sports Box Office. If you're in the US, via Top Rank on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, and around the world in other territories on DAZN. An unmissable show. Andy, we've been looking at some of these promos. We've had a chat today with Tyson, with Francis Ngannou, all the fighters on the undercard. Give me a sort of synopsis of how you felt here today.
I just think it's a really good way to start the week because this is a nice relaxed setting, relaxed surroundings, and what you find with tape weeks is they taper, don't they, towards the business end, and the fighters change in their demeanour. If they have to make weight, which most of these guys don't, then they'll get progressively more bad-tempered. But as they move closer to that witching hour, they start to tune in bit by bit, and they become less communicative generally. So doing this today for us is good. But I love seeing that change, and I'm just looking forward to everything this week because I think every day is going to bring something new. I mean, you'd kind of told me what this place was like, but you have to see things for yourself before you get the real full picture. And when you walk up to this and you see these enormous screens with these promos plastered all over them, it just tells you what we've got here. And I really do think on Saturday, everybody's going to see something, that we haven't seen before in terms of the spectacle.
Oh, thank you so much, Andy, for joining me today. You'll be back again tomorrow for the workout. And thank you all for joining us today on this live stream. We're going to see something very special on Saturday. Andy Clark just said it there. We are going to ask the world a question. Who is the baddest man on the planet? Stick with us this week, and by Saturday, we'll give you the answer.
Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll. Yeah, all right. Thanks, mate. Bye. We ready, boys?
Facing me is like facing David out the Bible. You know you
He likes to go in and whoop some bang.
I train my bollocks off for everybody. Whether he's a window cleaner or he's a world heavyweight king, they both get the same treatment. And that's total domination by me.
This is a fight. Francis Ngannou is coming early to take his head off.
Who is the baddest man on the planet? All eyeballs all around the world. And when you watch him Riyadh.
The leading warriors.
All eyes on us, like Tupac said, all eyes on me.
This man has transcended his sport.
The pinnacle of boxing.
Saudi boxing, get ready for a takeover. Gypsy King style.
All of a sudden, bang.
This will be happening at His Excellency Turkey. It is the event.
Facing the Gypsy King, no matter who you are, you can't win. I never leave any stones unturned. That's why I've been undefeated in 15 years.